Welcome to another Traveling with Terriers Top 5 with Tommy, Winston, and Louie. Today we're going to talk about winterizing your RV. Good morning, everyone. This is Danny with Traveling with Terriers, and today we're going to talk about winterizing your RV. You'll only need to do this if you live in a climate that gets below freezing, where your RV is stored like we do. So if you're lucky and you're down south, I don't know that you really need to do this ever, but we're in Wyoming and we need to do this. It's October and it's probably about past time. Let's get started. Come on in. All right, looking at the table here, the first thing we need to do is gather everything that we need to do this. And that is a screwdriver, your owner's manual, some gloves because you will be dealing with the plumbing system and it's always good to have gloves for that. These are nitrile gloves. And most important of all, antifreeze. So first we're going to bypass the hot water heater. We have a tank water heater and it holds like 5 gallons, I think, 5 to 7 gallons. It's already been emptied of water, so we've already done that. But we want to bypass it so that we don't have to use 5 gallons of antifreeze to put into that tank. There's a bypass valve on tank water heaters. If you have a tankless water heater, you don't want to bypass it. You actually want antifreeze to go into it. But your owner's manual will tell you exact steps for winterizing. There's a section in your owner's manual on winterization. So to bypass our water heater, it's in this panel here. Essentially what you're doing when you're winterizing your RV is you're filling up all of your water lines with antifreeze so that there's no water in there and it expands when it freezes and bursts a pipe. So that's the goal. We don't want antifreeze in this huge tank though. That's a big waste. So inside there's various valves. There's the red out supply line from the water heater and a cold water blue in to the water heater. Those are open right now. We're going to close those supply lines and then we're going to open a bypass valve which is underneath the red and blue one. You have to get really in there to maybe see it. It's on the floor. There's a little valve down there. So I will try to show you with my hand. So we're going to not allow any antifreeze to come out of the water heater, which is red. We're not going to allow any antifreeze to go into the water heater, which is this blue one. There's one more little valve down here, which is going to let the water flow. That's called the bypass valve, and that's going to take the water right past the water heater entirely. So that is done. In the spring, when you're wanting a hot shower and you've had your water heater on and it's just been heating with air inside of it, which is not good for it, but make sure to unbypass the water heater in the spring. I'm going to close all the faucet as well. So there's the kitchen. These were open because I was sanitizing the water system the other day. I'm going to close them. Okay, have those closed so that we can have antifreeze come through one line at a time when the pump's on. So let's fill up with antifreeze. There's a special line that goes into the pump, which is where the antifreeze goes in instead of the fresh water from your water tank. So your instruction manual will say this, but you do want to make sure that your black tank, your gray tank, and your fresh water tank are empty before you do this, because those can freeze and those can burst the tank too. We're actually not really putting antifreeze, we're not putting antifreeze in the fresh tank, of course. That'd take so many of these bottles. There will be a little bit of antifreeze that goes into the black and gray tanks, which is fine because it'll help those valves stay protected. But anyway, I'll explain that later. Okay, to access our pump, oh, we probably should get these out too. Any liquids you want to make sure you remove. Look inside there, you can see the water pump. So normally it gets its water from this pipe, which comes in from the fresh water tank, and this is open and it goes to the pump. But we want to get its liquid from this pipe, which is our antifreeze pipe. So we're going to turn the valve to get water from, or to get antifreeze from this pipe. Stick an antifreeze in here and take this cap off. And you stick this into the antifreeze bottle and we turn the pump on. And it should start sucking up that antifreeze. Takes it just a minute, but you should see this start to go down. See, it was full. Now we have antifreeze all the way past the pump to the first valves. We're getting all of our lines full of antifreeze. So you just go to one line at a time. I like to do the furthest away one first. So I'm going to do the shower. So we're just gonna run this until we see pink. You can see it better by looking at the ground maybe. See how there's pink now? And let it run a little longer and off. So now that line has antifreeze in it. And as you're doing this, you want to keep an eye on the bottle to make sure it doesn't run out. But I think we have enough to do the cold water too. So that's not pink yet. There it is. Okay. It's about empty. Time for our next one. I'm not surprised because I had already drained all the lines, so it was pretty much air in them. So it had to fill up pretty much the whole plumbing system just to get this to the shower. Okay, next, furthest away. There's no reason to do the furthest away either. It's just something that I remember. Cold water. It's pink already. Let the pump repressurize, and then hot water. So again, you just run it until you see that color. We want to do the toilet. Get some in there. I'm gonna put a little more just to protect that seal as well. See how we're doing. We still have half a bottle about, plus a whole another one. All right, now we need to do kitchen sink. It's pretty pink. And do the hot water side. And that's pink. How are we doing on our bottle? It's also about empty, which I expect. Ours takes about 3 bottles, so I'm gonna put one more in. And I am saving the little leftovers for tip number 5. You'll see in a moment if you keep watching. Okay, so we've got all of our interior winterized. We gotta go outside because some RVs have outside ports. Ours does. Ours has this spray port, which you attach a little spray hose to. So we need to do that one. Ours also has a spray port right inside here in our basement storage. So let's do that while we're here. It has a hot and a cold, so we're gonna do hot first. That looks pink to me. Our cold is a really lot less pressure, and I'm not sure why, but it's pink. Actually, that may be just the liquid in this, so I'm gonna let it run a little longer. See how it's turning white again? And then it should start to turn pink again. There, it's pink again. Now we can do that other spray port. Okay. pretty pink. A place where some people forget is that if you have a black tank flush as well, you can get a funnel and a hose and hook a hose up to this too. But I don't really have a hose, so I'm just gonna try to get some in there. That's not working. All right, tip 5 that you've been waiting for. We're going to use the leftover antifreeze to put in the P-traps. So come on inside. We just want to make sure we get enough of this in there to make sure the P-trap has antifreeze in it as well. So that's one. The sink has a P-trap. That's plenty to fill that up, especially because we have been running antifreeze through here. So here's enough for the shower. The shower has a P-trap. Louis likes to play with that. 3 P-traps. The toilet does not have a P-trap, unlike household toilets. The toilet, it just goes directly into the black tank, so we don't need to do that. A bonus tip, there was water in our gray tanks and black tanks now mixed with antifreeze as we've filled the P-traps and as we have emptied the lines of water and got antifreeze in them. So that's why we need these gloves, because I'm going to empty the gray and black tank into a bucket, take that in the house, dump that in the toilet. It shouldn't be much liquid. And then I'm going to run a little bit more antifreeze through each of these lines just to make sure there's a little bit of antifreeze on the valve seals. But I don't want there to be water in the water mixture with antifreeze in the gray and black tanks. And that is it. Winterizing RVs, 15 minutes, maybe 10 minutes. It's not too bad of a process. Thanks for watching. Happy travels. Visit travelingwithterriers.com for all of our top 5 videos. Plus, download a free PDF of this top 5. Thanks for watching and happy traveling.